Hey everybody, it's Diane Brandon Moody, and I am here with another edition of 50 Something Love, and this one I'm so excited to talk about. I just couldn't wait, so I put things in a different order, and here's what we're going to talk about today. We will be starting Simply Irresistible again in July. July 14th is when we kick off. And I am so excited about this because even though I thought it was pretty cool last year, I made a few adjustments and some improvements, and I just really can't wait to get it started. So, for those who have never heard of Simply Irresistible, this is what it is. It is a program where we work on our capacity to receive love. We work on the nervous system reasons that doesn't allow us to let in love. And we also do tactics. I'm not going to leave you without some tactics and questions to your answers. But that isn't the main part, and that's not where we start. Where we start is so exciting, and I can talk more about that in a call. So if you're interested in learning more about Simply Irresistible, go to dianebrandonmoody.com/love audit and book a call with me so we can talk more about it. But the reason I designed this program the way it is because I may have the world's record for the longest dating. I dated from the time I was 16 until I was 58 when I got married for the first time to my husband. And looking back, this is something I wouldn't have seen in the middle of it, but looking back, I can see all the times when I was willing to accept something that wasn't what I wanted because it was there, and simultaneously thinking I was too good for most of them. That happens a lot. And I'm not talking behavior, I just mean as people. That could be just kind of, icky. So I remember the more it didn't work, the more my capacity kind of closed up, and the more I started making choices that were just not useful. They just weren't good at all. So, yeah, I did get advice. I did coaching a couple of times, but it wasn't what I needed. It wasn't until the last time that it really took hold because I didn't really realize what I was doing there as clearing the way for love. What I was doing was clearing out all the junk that kept me from love. And that is a subtle but important distinction. So once I understood that, I've told this story before, but the last day of 2017, I was doing what I always do, which is to write down everything that didn't work about the previous year and whatever the desires were that I had in the next year. And I heard a voice as clear as a bell. Sounded like somebody was sitting next to me, but it was only my cat in the room with me. And the voice was, "You want to get engaged in 2018." And I was like, "Oh, brother, that's crazy. I wouldn't have known somebody long enough. That's ridiculous." No. And the voice said, "Write it down. That's what you want." So, all right, fine. I wrote it down. Then a few minutes later, the voice came back and the voice told me, put an ad on Craigslist. And I was like, "Are you out of your freaking mind? Do you know the garbage that's on Craigslist?" And the voice said, "Just do it." So I did it. In 6 minutes, I wrote a brilliant ad, woke up to 300 responses to it. By the way, you can't do that on Craigslist anymore. They don't do it. And so one of those people, and it was the last one, was the guy he took me to dinner, and 365 days later we were married. And I realized then when I looked back all the work I had done and prepared me for that moment. I was still nervous. He was ready to move this forward very quickly. I was not as ready to run it as quickly, but we figured it out, and got married a year later. So the reason I say all that is because the work that I did in preparing myself made all the difference. Um, Before I got to my husband, there were quite a few guys out of that 300, it was an easy no, just delete, delete, delete. But here's what was different. I wasn't the slightest bit annoyed over it. I wasn't mad that they were sending me pictures of their junk, which guys don't ever do that. It's not the big proud thing that you think it is. It's not. So those were all deleted. And then I got to a few of them that I talked to for, a day or two online, and then would discover that they were married, which that was a big fat no, or there was some other good reason why I wasn't interested, and that was, again, a big fat no. So and then I eventually had dinner with a couple of them, and then it was like, no, not with these either. And again, I didn't take it as any kind of a personal insult. It just was what it was, and these guys weren't a match. Moving on. That's all it was. And so I could see all the times in which, despite knowing what I wanted in a relationship, I wasn't getting it because my body would freak out every time it came close to happening. So I had to work on all that. So what we're working on here, first of all, is the capacity. The capacity to invite love into your life and it be the right person and love stays. That's what we work on to begin with. Because I can teach you all the tactics in the world. And if you're not ready to let it love in and you're ready to let go of steeling yourself against one more horrible date or six more horrible dates or whatever it is, um, then the tactics will land better. And I do teach tactics, everything from how to stay safe on a date to how to write an ad. If you're a VIP and Simply Irresistible, I give you my template of the one I wrote, which was pretty damn sexy. And I'd say it worked. It was sexy in a way that was slightly sexy for an ad, and it was intriguing. It wasn't in any way like, you know, dirty or porn or anything like that. It wasn't like that at all. So, what I'm not going to ask you to do is um, mess with a better strategy or a better profile, at least not in the beginning. That's not where we're going to go. Um, but we're going to work on the things that are keeping you from love. And I can already hear the chorus of all the women saying, but it's not me, it's the men. Girl, you wouldn't keep drawing them to you if there wasn't something in you that was really a little bit scared of love. I was terrified of it. I'm telling you the truth, I was terrified of it. And being 58 when I got married for the first time, I wasn't completely ready. I mean, there were a little bumpiness going on in there when I just didn't know how to handle it. I'm kidding. Rolling over and there's always somebody there, or, making dinner every single night or whatever it was. There were some times when I was just a little bit not prepared for what I got myself into. We learned, and it's fine. We get along great. We have a very good connection. But there was some struggle in there, and I could go back and see the times when I created subconsciously, I wasn't doing this on purpose, when I was creating a little bit of the drama inside me. So this is for, I won't let you go out there without tactics. You will get tactics. Like I said, it's going to be after we do the other. So this is for women who are accomplished. You're over 50. You may be always single like I was, and you're finally ready to let love in and the kind of love that you want come in. You may have been divorced and really angry about it, which could be justified. And you have to let go of some of that before the right guy will find you. Otherwise, you will get the same guy in a different outfit. You know that, right? That's what happens in those situations. Or you may be somebody who has unfortunately been widowed. You had a good marriage the first time, and you are just not sure how to go about this, and it hasn't worked out for you so far, and you have a date and nothing ever happens, or he just disappears and doesn't cancel on you. You don't know what's going on. So it can be for anybody who is single for whatever reason that you're single. So if you've read the books, if you've done the therapy, if you have been working on yourself, these are the best people. You don't have to have had it figured out completely, but you're like, I'm not afraid of digging in. I'm really ready to go. So if you have found yourself connecting with the same guy in a different outfit over and over and you're ready to change that for good, then this works for you. This isn't for people who just want to know how to write an ad and they'll leave. That just isn't what we do here. Although, like I said, I do support you with that if that's what you want to do, but that is not the whole purpose. If you think the only problem out there is men, this probably isn't for you either. And notice that I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying you're at fault. I'm not saying you're to blame. That isn't what I'm saying. What I am saying is if you are saying that the problem is all the men, that is the most powerless position that you can be in. Because then nothing will change until they change, and you can't make them change. So, what are you going to do? You're just going to hang? You're just going to be single, not because you want to be. If you want to be single and you've had your relationship or you're not interested in a relationship and you just want to be single and hang out with your girlfriends and go camping or whatever, fine. You do that. I bless that. Like, yeah, you do what you want to do. But if you're single and trying to tell yourself that you want to be single and you really don't, then let's talk. Okay, let's talk. So we do some nervous system regulation. That's part of the work here. We also look at patterns, what may have been repeatable patterns. If you want to get that from my website, there are 7 patterns guide on my website, dianebradenmoody.com. You can download that and see if you recognize yourself in any of them. I will tell you that I, at one time or another, did all 7. One time, I'm not afraid to tell you that because I made some changes. But at one time, yeah, I probably did all of those, and that didn't make it good. So I'm looking at my notes here, which is why I'm turning around for the YouTubers people. The practical strategies start working when you don't have the internal blocks to them and the embedded internal blocks, and chances are you don't even see them. That's why a coach is a really good thing to do because I can spot them. You probably don't, or you're justifying them. And again, this is not blame. This is because you're a human. Humans do this. This is what we do. This doesn't make you bad, doesn't make you wrong. It makes you fully human. If you're ready to give that up, dianebradenmoody.com/love audit. So this is intimate work. It is a group program, but it won't be a large group program. And July 14th is when we get started. So if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. I've given the website several times, but you're not alone. I want you to know that when you're in a group, a small group, you will see that you're not alone. You will see that some of these things have happened. Whatever it is that you have holding you back has held other people back. But we're going to get in there and change that. It takes some doing sometimes. I will also say if you are somebody who has been raped, you had sexual assault, especially at a very young age, I highly, highly recommend that you work with a trauma therapist first. I've had clients with some of this experience, and they do the therapy first. We have a safe word if there's something that's beginning to be a little triggering, but that's your time to get in touch with your therapist. I'm not a trauma therapist. I don't pretend to be. I won't try to be. So that's the level where you'd be better served with a trauma therapist. And I want to be honest about that. But do that work and come back to me because we can do more. Um, yeah, I I guess that's about it. If you have questions, yeah, I'm looking over my notes. Yeah, not cool. Oh, before I forget, another, the last public Dating Safely and Scam Free is on Thursday, June 25th at 7 p.m. Central Time. That's another thing that you can sign up for on the website, dianebrandonmoody.com/safety. We're going to talk about how to date safely, what to avoid, what is safe to do, and we're also going to talk about scams. You may be a very intelligent person who thinks you would know a scam if you see it, but I tell you, they're getting better and better, and AI is out there. And so AI does a good job of covering the flaws that were easy to spot last time and not so easy to spot anymore. So join us on Thursday, June 25th, and we'll be talking about that. I really hope to see you in Simply Irresistible because the work is magical. I have a podcast on all about a client that I worked with. So you can look at that. I believe that was episode 53, my client CJ. You can look at that, listen, and you'll probably hear what the experience was like. So, with that said, if you have questions, come at me at dianebrandonmoody.com, and I'm looking forward to talking to you more. Bye.